Imagine a man so trusted that billionaires, celebrities, banks, and even charities handed him their fortunes without hesitation. For decades, his name meant safety, success, and brilliance. But in December 2008, the world discovered that Bernie Madoff was no financial genius.
Wall Street fraud who masterminded the largest Ponzi scheme in history is going to spend the rest of his life behind bars.
He was the mastermind behind the largest Ponzi scheme in American history. A $65 billion illusion that ruined lives across the globe. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not just a crime story, it is a warning about how greed and blind trust can destroy everything. Bernard Lawrence Madoff was not some slick hustler operating from a back alley. He was the face of Wall Street credibility.
Wall Street's biggest swindler ever, now behind bars.
A man whose reputation seemed carved in stone. At cocktail parties in Manhattan and boardrooms in Europe, his name carried the weight of security. This was a man who had once chaired NASDAQ, one of the most important stock exchanges in the world. That title alone placed him in a category very few could reach. He was photographed with senators, praised by executives, and admired by financial insiders who considered him untouchable. His strategy for building trust was subtle but brilliant. Instead of chasing investors, he created an image of exclusivity. Not everyone could join his fund. In fact, he often turned people away, making them believe that access to him was a privilege reserved only for the fortunate. Wealthy clients begged to be included, and when they finally were, they felt chosen. Special members of an inner circle where fortunes were destined to grow. Madoff gave investors exactly what they craved. Steady, predictable gains. Year after year, his statements showed around 10% growth, untouched by market crashes or booms. While others lost sleep, his clients felt safe, almost as if he had discovered financial magic. That calm was the very reason people did not ask questions. They wanted to believe that someone, somewhere, had cracked the code of the markets, and that person seemed to be Bernie Madoff. He dressed conservatively, spoke softly, and never bragged. Unlike flashy traders showing off sports cars, he projected humility, and that humility disguised the magnitude of his deception. Even banks and hedge funds trusted him. These were institutions filled with analysts and experts. But instead of digging deeper, they handed over billions because everyone else already trusted him. Celebrities invested. Charities invested. Entire family fortunes were tied to his name. His web of trust spread across continents, from the United States to Europe to Asia. This was not just financial management, it was theatre, and Madoff was the lead actor playing the role of the trustworthy guardian. The tragedy is that his performance worked so perfectly that people stopped looking behind the curtain. They believed the story, they believed the man, and they believed that their money was safe. In truth, the very strength of that trust became the weapon that allowed his fraud to grow unchecked for decades. Here is how it worked. Madoff was not investing the money at all. There were no trades, no strategies, no real profits. Instead, he used money from new investors to pay earlier ones, creating the illusion of success. He printed fake account statements showing growth that did not exist. Year after year, clients opened envelopes that made them feel rich, while in reality, their wealth was nothing more than numbers on paper. It was the classic Ponzi scheme named after Charles Ponzi, but on a scale no one had ever imagined. What started with millions ballooned into tens of billions. It was financial theatre, and Madoff was the star actor. Not everyone believed the show. A financial analyst named Harry Markopoulos studied Madoff's claims and quickly realized the numbers were impossible. He reported his concerns to regulators repeatedly, even describing the operation as one giant fraud. But Madoff's reputation was so untouchable, his connections so powerful, that no one acted. As long as the returns looked good and the rich kept getting richer, no one asked questions. For nearly a decade, red flags piled up, and yet Madoff stood tall as a pillar of financial wisdom, until the storm of 2008 hit. When the global financial crisis struck, investors rushed to pull their money out. Billions of dollars were demanded back in weeks. For the first time, Madoff could not deliver because there was nothing left. In December, he confessed to his sons that it had all been a lie. They reported him to authorities, and the empire of illusion crumbled overnight. Headlines exploded, victims wept, and the man once called brilliant was now branded the greatest con artist of our time. In the end, Bernie Madoff confessed to robbing thousands, from celebrities to charities. He left lives ruined, trust destroyed, and earned a 150-year sentence. His story delivers one timeless warning: when profits look perfect and risk-free, they are almost always a lie.